Then as you can see, it's giving me an infinite loop. Now, let me just explain it again. First of all, you need to see this. You have, let's leave it. You have count equals to 1. You have, you have count equals to 1. Then you have what? Count is less than or equal to 5. I hope everybody is getting this. Count is less than or equal to 5. Now, we now have what? Constant of count. This is the condition. This condition is saying that while count is less than or equal to 5, keep what? Incrementing what? Count. That's where this count plus is. Let me just explain it before we write the code. So first of all, we initialize a variable count to 1. That's the initialization. That's the first part. The variable will keep track of the content that we are printing. Now, the condition is that while the while loop continues as long as count is less than or equal to 5. Meaning if count is 1, if count is 0, but when did we start from 1, right? So you start from 1. So if count is 1, the loop keeps running. 2 keeps running, 3, 4, and 5. Then once it gets to 5, it stops. Now, inside of the code block, we now print the value of what? Count. Now, we increment count by using 1 plus in its iteration. This ensures that the loop eventually terminates when count becomes what? 6. Meaning 6 will never get printed out. So let me show you what I'm trying to say. So now, if I go ahead and I uncomment this and I say count plus, what is going to happen? We are going to have count run until what? The value of count gets to what? To 5. So I'm going to stop this and I'm going to refresh it again. So let's check out our application. So now as you can see, what do you have here? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now this is how a while loop is. This is how while loop works. That's the basic condition. Now in this place, it's like for loop. Of course, they can do every actually all loops, almost all loops, not all almost all loops. Let me just restrict it to for loop and while loop. They can actually do what each other can do. But now the thing is that they have their strength. For instance, this one I just did here right here. It is easier to do on for loop. On for loop, even if I do not put this count plus, first of all, it will not run. Meaning that it will not give me an infinite loop. Do you understand? That's why when you have a definite amount of loop that you want to run, for loop is best. Because if you do not complete your loop, that's set decision. It will not run. Do you understand? That means it will not crash my system. But while loop, if there is every tendency that what it runs, just go out, it runs. And if there is no decision that you want to include there, what happens? You have an infinite loop. That's what while loop is. So while loop is best for when you do not actually need the amount of repetition or amount of iterations that you want to actually go over. While for loop is investment for things like this. I'm not showing you this so you understand about this. Is it clear to you? No. While count is less than 5, but count has been set to 1. For loop, yes. Okay. No, it will not run an infinite loop. Why? Because count here is what has been initialized for 1. That's what I'm trying to say. So what I'm saying is, so I'm going to say 4. Let us replace count now with I. So let I equals to what? 1. That's the first thing, right? Then we can now say I is what? Less than 5. Isn't it? Then I plus. As long as I is less than 4, what will it print out now? 1 to 4. Why will it print out 1 to 4? Because 4 is actually the last, 4 is less than 5. And we're saying as long as 4 is less than 5, keep printing out I. So if you say console.log I, let us see what we have now. So you should see 1 to 4. right here. Do you understand? So it's not going to give you an infinite loop. And what exactly am I saying? I'm saying that if I remove this right here, it's going to give me an error. So okay, let's try it out and let's see. So as you can see, it's still running, it's still giving us the infinite loop. Okay, but let's just leave it like this. So what I'm saying is, it is best to use your for loop. You really have to repeat it. You actually know the amount of repetition it's going to have. You understand? And while loop is, has its own strength. All of these things, they have their own strength. You understand? So that's basically what your while loop is and your for loops are. Okay. Yeah. I don't think that it does not mean that if you don't give something a particular amount of condition or amount of repetition, it's going to crash. No. It is crashing in here now because basically what you're trying to run is you're just running on a local machine first. Second, you are basically not dealing with real data yet. So you're just dealing with okay, your data types and all this. You're not dealing with the real data yet. So if you want to, and your to do this is not exactly an infinite loop. No, it's not infinite. It is still definite, but that definition is just long. Sure you get. So it's not as if it keeps running. It is definite because the loop will not occur until a particular task is set. So if you now set the task, the loop stops until you want to run another loop again. So it keeps going and it keeps going. So it's not as if the loop is keeps running. Something has to keep that. You get. So it is not exactly infinite. It is actually definite. But then it has like it just keeps happening. You get it now. That's how it is. Now let us look at this example. So right here we said sum equals to what? 0, number equals what? 1. Then the limit is 10. Okay. Uh Nobody is inside. And I don't think I'm supposed to even let anybody in because they sent me list of names. So all right, as I was saying, so we have sum equals to 0, number equals to what? 1, and limit equals to what? 10. So while sum is less than or equals to limit, you have what? Sum plus number. Now, what exactly does this mean? This is now, yes, we set limit to 10, right? But in some cases, okay, let me just explain what this means for you. So now we have sum is less than or equals to what? Limit. Limit here, 10. I hope everybody's following. Limit right here is what? 10. Sum here is what? 0. Now we are saying that what sum is less than or equals to limit. What does that mean? Sum is between 0 and what? 10. Good. Now, while this particular condition is true, we want to what? Add sum and number. But we're not just adding it. So we're going to say sum plus equals number. So that means the value of sum now keeps increasing by number. So now if sum is 0 plus 1, that means sum 0 plus 1 is what? 1. 1 plus 1 is what? 2. 2 plus 1 is what? 3. 3 plus 1 is what? 4. 4 plus 1 is what? 5. That's what keeps happening. Do you understand? So now they say sum plus equals number. That means sum was 0 before. Then while this thing keeps up, that is part of sum now keep incrementing or keep increasing. Now let me just read this out. So we initialize sum to 0 and number to 1. So and we define the limit of what? 10. So now the loop continues as long as sum is less than or equal to what? Limit. Now, inside the loop, we add the current number to sum and then increment what? Number. So now let us try and run this loop and let's see what we have. So right here we have what? Let sum equals to what? 0, right? Now let number equals to 1, and then we also have what? Const limit equals to what? 10. So now, limit. Now, but I'm going to have while sum, right, is less than or equals to what? Limit, isn't it? So what exactly do you want? What I want is what? I want sum plus or equals to what? Number, right? And then we're going to go number plus plus. Let's go number plus plus. Now let us check out the value of number. So we're going to have console.log. Let's print out sum. So let's print out sum and number. Sum, comma, number. So now I want you to see what's going to happen. Looking at this loop now, what do you think is going to happen? What are you going to have? I need to know if everybody's following. Looking at this loop right here, what are you going to have? Now, there's a reason why I'm starting from this basic here. When you start getting into getting your hands dirty on loops, you know that loops is actually more than just this. But to understand this part, it's easier for you to do all other things right now. So, looking at this loop, what do you think is going to be the answer? What will be the value of sum and number? What will be the value of sum and number? Eh? Look at it again. Sum equals what? 0. Let number equals to what? 1. Then comes limit equals to what? 10. Now, while sum is less than or equals to limit, you're going to have what? Sum plus equals number. And number plus plus. Meaning that while this particular condition, we have how many? We have two things that are going to get executed. The first one is that while sum is less than or equal to limit, sum is going to what? Keep adding to number. It's going to keep increasing, but it's also keep going to what? Adding to number. And also number will what? Keep increasing. So what will be the answer? Sorry? Yeah. Talk now. I don't know why everybody's. I don't want anybody to. I want everybody to say something. It's giving me an infinite loop for it. It's not supposed to give an interest takes over. So let us check it out. So now, first of all, the initial. Okay, what were you asking for? Now, the initial was the initial sum 0, right? Now, here you're not saying that sum is less than or equal to what? Limit. Now, for the first loop, while these things are, while sum is less than or equal to limit, this particular condition is going to run. Now, the first thing is that while this thing is what? So that is 0 plus 1, 1, right? 1 plus 1, 2. That's why you have what? 1, 2 here. Good. What's now the new value of sum? No. 1. Everybody's getting it. That's the new value of sum, right? 1. What's the new value of number? 1 plus 2. 3, right? 2 plus 1. Let's wait. Let's start. The first, this value is what? 0. That's the first sum. 0 plus 1, 1. Right? The first value of number is what? No. 2. Why? Number was 1 here before, but we now said number plus plus. Now, in this place, is sum still less than limit? Yeah? Look at it. What's limit? 10. Is 1 less than 10? Yes. Now, because that is still true, it will move on to the next one, to the next line, and give another this thing. What's the another answer, another sum? Now, in this place, what's the new value of sum now? 1, right? Good. 1 plus, what's the new value of number? 2. That's what? 3. So you have 3. Everybody is getting this. Then, what's the value of number now? What's the new value of number here? 2. 2 plus plus is what? What does 2 plus plus mean? 2 plus means what? Plus 1. 2 plus 1 is what? 3. So you have what? 3. Now, looking at sum here, is sum still is 3 less than 10? Move on to the next one again. So to the next one, you're not going to have another one. Now, in this case, you're not going to have sum plus number. Now, sum is what here? 3, right? Number is what here? 3 plus 3. 6. Good. So you have 6. Then plus 3 plus 1. 4. You have 4. In this case, is sum still greater than, is sum still less than 10? You do the same thing again. So you're not going to have what? 6 plus 4. 10. Good. 4 plus 1. 5. Good. That's how it keeps going. Now, is this thing now greater than 10 now? Is it less than or equals to 10 now? Now, that means sum is equals to 10, right? This is going to be your final answer. So if
What about number?
What about why is it getting to 15? This is wrong. Wait, what is less than? Is less than like this or like this? Because this is, so that means this is what we want. This is actually what we want. So now we are saying that while sum is less than or equals to limit, this now this no, this was supposed to give to us. Supposed to, so this is supposed to like be the list, but it's actually giving one more, which is what I need to understand now. All right, so it's actually going to exceed the limit according to what they are saying because of number plus plus. That's why it's going to exceed the limit because of number plus plus. But because of number plus plus, if I remove number plus plus now, it will not exceed the limit again. So you're going to see still even exceeding the limit by 1. So I might have to do Ctrl Z. I might have to do sum equals to sum minus 1. And let us check it out. This should stop it from it. Now, okay, still exceeding the limit. Still exceeding the limit. All right, let's just leave it for now. So now, basically what this thing is saying is, this is simple math. It's not hard, because I know a lot of us are looking at it like this is very hard. Now, loops are very delicate. Sometimes they can turn your head. Sometimes you feel like you are on the right path, you understand it. Sometimes you feel like, Jesus, what is this? Now, understanding this part of loops is key to understanding other aspects of loops. We also have other aspects of loops. You have map, you have for each. All those ones are like a much more a much more advanced way of iterating over things, right? Iterating over data. Now, again, we set the value of sum to what? 0. We set number to what? 1. Then limit to what? 10. While sum is less than or equals to limit, what do you want? You want this to be printed out. So now, one thing about this while loop now is that it is not adding one more to the iteration. It is not stopping at the limit. It stop at the limit, now add 1. Do you get? Just what I'm trying to say. Stop at the limit, now add 1 for us. Now, we're not saying sum plus or equals to number. While this is true, what do you want? You want this value of sum to be added to number. Then you're not going to have what number plus plus. Now, what does this mean? Looking at this place now, sum here is what? 0, right? That's the first iteration. Plus 1. So plus 1 is what? 1. That's the first one. Then you're not saying number plus plus. Number plus plus is what? 1 plus 1. Because initially this thing is what? 1. That's what? 1, 2. Now you move on to the next iteration. Sum here is now what? 1, isn't it? So since sum is 1, it's not going to add to the new value of number, which is what? 2. 1 plus 2, 3. 2 plus 1 will be what? Number plus 1. Plus 1. That's what? 3. That's why you have 3 plus 3 here. You do the next thing again. Sum plus number. 3 plus 3 is 6. Right? So this is just basic math. You just need to understand what all of these loops are saying. Now, loops are very easy. They are not exactly hard, but you need to understand the basics of how while loop works, how for loops work, and how everything actually works. Now, let us deal with Boolean. Let's do with having to work with examples like that. I like using the example because it's much more, it does give me the idea of what to do. Now, looking at it, they say X is running equal to true. What's the data type of this variable here? What's the data type here? What is the data type in this place? Why is everybody not? Eh? Look at it again. What is the data type? Eh? It's not the data type. What's the data type? Yeah. Why is it that why is everybody scared of Java? Are you scared of JavaScript? You've not been writing JavaScript. You've not been coding JavaScript since you started, right? This is Boolean. Boolean. As you've seen true, I see true and false. Boolean. What's the data type in this place? Eh? What's the data type here? Data type here. What are data types? How many data types do you have? What are the data types? What are primitive data types? How many types of primitive data types do you have? Mention them. So looking at this counter in context counter procedure, what data type is this? Why were we scared to say number? I have to like try and juggle our memory about that. Hmm. So now, what's the value of is running here? True, right? Now this is now saying that while this particular is running true, what this basically means, who can tell me what this means? Who can tell me what this means? Now, I said is running to be what? True, right? Then I said while it's running, console.log loop iteration counter plus plus. Now, first of all, do not don't think about this place. Just focus on this place. What's going to happen here? Why will you run? First of all, you need to understand how loop works. Loop, you're actually correct. Loop is saying that if certain conditions are true, it will keep running. Now, we now set is running to what? True. I will now use is running as a condition. What does that mean? It is true. It will always run. Mean that loop will not stop. Right? It's running is what? True. It will keep working. Do you get? And we're not saying that what console.log loop iteration count. That means you keep having counter plus plus for life. Why? It's running is what? True. It has been set to the value of true here. Do you get it now? That is one thing about loops. Loop anything that makes a condition true, it will keep working until that condition is what false. But in this case, is running is what? True, which makes it a what? An infinite loop. Is that clear to everybody? I hope it's clear to everybody. is running here is what's true. Counter 0. Counter will keep increasing till it's running becomes what? False. Is it clear? Eh? Which one? Yes, that's why we now have this. So now say if counter is greater than or equals to 3, set is running to false. Meaning that if the counter now gets what? 3, it will now what? Stop. Do you get it now? That was why its running was not defined with const. It was defined what? Let. It is something that can still change to what? To a value of false. Do you see how you use let and const now? Variables. It is not meant to change. In this place, limit was meant to be, standard. It's a standard. But in this place, number can actually change from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Your sum can change from what? 0 to 1 to 2 to 3. You get it now? But in this place here, your is running is true. But once counter is now greater than 3, that means once it gets to 4, it stops. Is it clear to everyone? Yes. It's supposed to be greater than, once it's greater than 3, it stops. Just stop. Let's run it. Let's see what we have. So what am I saying? You can say let is running equals to what? True. Right? Then we're not going to have what? Let total or let's count equals to what? 0. Right? Now I'm not going to set it's running yet for a major reason. Who can tell me it's going to be an infinite loop if I set it like that? So let us just leave it. So what do you want? While it's running, just let's leave it first. We say console log count, right? And then we're going to set our iteration. We're going to say count. I'm going to say count plus plus. That means keep working. Then we're not going to say if count now gets what? If count is now greater than or equal to what? 3, what do you want? You want to set is running to what? 4. Now, that is exactly what we want to do. Now, I'm going to set this to what is running. So now let us see what we have. So if you check it out now, it is most likely going to stop at what? 2. Why is it even 2? Yeah, it goes to 3. So let us try and say, so if count is greater than or equals to 3, so we're not going to say it's running to false. So now let us check this out. That's actually okay. Now we said greater than or equals to 3. Now since it's already equals to 3, what's going to stop at 2? Because it's going to check, okay, this counter equals to 3. That's the first thing it does. Now since counter has already been like deemed equals to 3, so automatically stop. It's not wait this one greater than 3. It's going to stop. Now that's precedence. If you remember, I talked about precedence in what's the name? In your operators. Who remembers? Talked about board marks. Good. So your equal to basically carries more precedence than what? Than this. Than your greater than. So if you wanted to read 4 or 3, put 4. You're asking a question. I want to cross my system. No, it is. Okay, let's just check it out. It's going to give us an infinite loop. Okay, it's actually giving us 0. Okay. Count is what? But I'm not saying if count is less than or equals to 3, 0 is what? Less than. That means it will not run. Just stop at what? 0. Count plus increment, not add. I did not say count plus equals. I said count plus plus. If I say count plus equals 1, it will keep increasing.
You could say less. So that's
if I say count plus equals maybe to something that is now like as a value of 0 now, it will keep on increasing by 1. But I only said what? Count plus plus. You understand? So it will only stop at what? 0. Eh? It cannot be adding exactly because it is less than. So that's why it's going to give you what? This. Okay. Now, but that is basically what your loops can do. So your loops are very much simple, as you can see. Dollar sign. This is your back. This is backticks. Then you cannot have what? Dollar sign. Then this count. That's what you did. Count is this. So if you check it out now, you should have count is 0, count is 1, count is 2. Now, do we understand this? Are you sure? Okay. So now this is everything about what that we'll be talking about now. Now, this is not exactly everything about what there are other examples here that you can do, right? So you have a countdown timer. So write a while loop that counts down from 10 to 1 and print each number. So I think this is something you should do. So I'll give you this as a classwork now. Everybody to go ahead and do this. With your while loop, with everything you understand about while loop so far, go ahead and write a timer with a while loop that counts down from what 10 to 1 and prints each number. This is a classwork. I want you to go ahead and write a while loop that counts down 10 numbers, that's 10 to 1, and print each of those numbers. This is very easy. From 10 down, yes. Very easy. It's like a reverse of everything we've been doing. So just go ahead and do this. Again, this is very easy.